It is very interesting that the key leaders who worked with President Uhuru Kenyatta are here today. Very, very strange.
Good morning to you viewers. I hope you are fine wherever you are. Welcome to Talk to Africa. My name is George. Yesterday, Speaker Muturi abandoned Uhuru Kenyatta and officially joined Kenya Kwanza, and he was received by William Samoei Ruto. Why do you think all Mount Kenya leaders have abandoned Uhuru Kenyatta? If you're watching this channel for the first time, kindly subscribe and grow our membership.
Hata lugha pia inaanza kuwa shinda. Tafadhali, you ain't seen nothing yet. Tutaendelea hivyo hivyo.
Yesterday, Kalonzo Musyoka and Raila Amolo Odinga went to Mwingi, where Kalonzo Musyoka apparently took the real road to Damascus. On the other hand, Chiloba did a 360-degree turn. But today, we are not looking at that. Anyway, why have all Mount Kenya leaders abandoned Uhuru Kenyatta? Who are they? By the way, you know, the last on the list today, the commander, left and joined Kenya Kwanza, and that is Speaker Justin Muturi. That is the commander who leaves last. You remember the other one, let me say Judas, left before the commander, and that is Wamatangi. The rest you know. Alice Wahome, Muturi, Rigathi Gachagua, Moses Kuria, Ndindi Nyoro, Kimani Ichung'wah, Kavogo, Kabakavogo, Susan Kihika, and Wamatangi, that I call Judas because he left last. He was there to say everything about Uhuru Kenyatta and the Jubilee government. There are obvious reasons why these people of Mount Kenya could have left Uhuru Kenyatta and actually decided to join William Samoei Ruto. There are people who say that William Samoei Ruto in 2013 actually managed to fix people in the Jubilee nominations, and they are the names that I've just read. And that is the reason why they all had their loyalty to William Samoei Ruto than Uhuru Kenyatta. Because you remember at that time, the two, William Samoei Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta, were very close. Pete na kidole. So there are those people who think that those nominations, that William Samoei Ruto actually left all the popular candidates in Mount Kenya and put his own candidates. That shows some intention there if that argument is correct. The other thing that people talk about is the issue of money. That William Samoei Ruto has bought all these people. He has manipulated all the leaders of Mount Kenya and he's bought them. And basically, that is the reason why Uhuru Kenyatta is abandoned and is alone. So there's the issue of manipulation and there's the issue of money. So the other factor that I hear people talking about a lot is the issue that Uhuru Kenyatta is not giving enough democratic space. You know, Uhuru Kenyatta is not, listening to them. He's not calling PG. I remember there was a time when that issue came in a lot, and William Samoei Ruto even talked about it. The fact that Jubilee never had its parliamentary meetings at that particular time, and that could be a reason why Mount Kenya has basically the leaders. have basically abandoned Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. The Raila factor. There are also people who talk about Raila and talk about handshake and basically think that it's because of the handshake that these people abandoned Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and actually joined William Samoei Ruto. And before we talk about the handshake, you'll see that this is a very organized departure, leaving Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta step by step in a very systematic and organized way. And I told you the commander himself, Justin Muturi, left and commanders leave the battlefield last. So this factor of Raila Amolo Odinga is neither here nor there, because the extent to which actually these people are even answering back to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta tells you that the problem runs deep and is not something that they are thinking about right now. So that handshake business and Raila factor is there because people talk about it, but I would imagine that it may not be the major factor. There are guys who talk about that the ground has shifted. The ground has shifted, which they say tumesikia ground. How would the ground shift without leaders? There must be somebody who has led these people, and there must be a reason why, of course, the ground is shifting. And maybe that would lead us to the next point, which is basically inheritance politics in Mount Kenya. Could there be a jostle for inheritance politics in Mount Kenya? And of course, it plays a factor. When you talk about inheritance politics in Mount Kenya, don't forget about Moses Kuria, who has really been trying to be the next spokesman of Mount Kenya. Remember, when you talk about dynasty and you talk about inheritance politics, that is a thing that also is a factor that could have made William Ruto, if that in itself is not a factor, then William Samoei Ruto has certainly used that dynasty thing and the inheritance issue in Mount Kenya and actually managed to outmaneuver Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Then when you look at it again, there are those issues of fatigue. You know, Mount Kenya has been in leadership for a very long time. And that issue of fatigue, things have not changed. You know, the people are just the same and things are not changing in terms of the difference or disparity between the rich and the poor in Mount Kenya. Could that be a factor that the people there are fatigued? They don't really care anymore who is in State House because that is not translating to what is happening in terms of bridging the gap between the rich and the poor. And I can tell you that gap is very wide in Mount Kenya. In fact, you realize some young guys resorted to alcohol, cheap alcohol. It has costed lives, it has costed families, and all these. So could it be a factor of fatigue and that difference in income that is there in Mount Kenya? There's also the other thing about a lame duck. These guys of Mount Kenya would have realized that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta basically is becoming a lame duck and is not going to be valuable. After the 2017 elections, when they actually elected him into office, they now realize they have nothing more to do with that because he's not going to give them resources and he's basically a lame duck. But is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta a lame duck? Trust me, forget about it. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is so active, and in fact I would say he's the strongest president who has come up, especially when he is leaving office. And I'm talking about all the presidents of Kenya. Jomo Kenyatta, Moi, Mwai Kibaki, and now Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is nowhere near a lame duck, so the chances are that that lame duck concept is not really a big factor. In summary, what I would say, whatever it is, whether it's a combination of all those factors that we've looked at, whether it's one of the factor, basically, of the factors that we've looked at, the truth is William Samoei Ruto is a very smart guy. He actually used Mount Kenya and went there and aggressively campaigned over the years and spent a lot of money in Mount Kenya that has actually now is deep-rooted. And you can see it was so easy for him to market UDA and actually put people there. The ground shifting, yeah, but ground shifts without, it is not possible for the ground shift without leaders being there. What do you think? What do you think is really happening in Mount Kenya? And by the way, will that actually, the leaders leaving Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, will that translate into all the votes going for William Samoei Ruto? That is yet to be seen. And when we started the program, I told you that there was a change, and apparently Kalonzo Musyoka and Chiloba have made a 360-degree turn on the road to Damascus. I'll be talking about that next. You remember, Chiloba had actually asked all Kenyans to re-register their lines. And you remember, Kalonzo Musyoka has been insisting on the deputy president position. By the way, could Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta have realized that basically the ground has shifted so much in Mount Kenya that a Mount Kenya deputy or running mate would not add value to what they are trying to do? Could Kalonzo Musyoka, who went on the road to Damascus yesterday with Raila Amolo Odinga and became a born-again Christian, both of them, by the way, could the strategy in that Azimio camp, is the strategy changing, or are they just shuffling the options and looking for reactions? Thank you very much for tuning in. Welcome to Talk to Africa. My name is George.